Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
All right, Hellions, welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is going to be part 2 of episode 100. You could call it episode 100.5 if you... And we're doing Kiss the Middle of the Road. Last episode we did Dress to Kill, Kiss Alive, Kiss Destroyer. And I would say we pretty much destroyed Destroyer.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about it.
No bueno.
But we're going to get into that in a couple minutes. What?
I was going to say your name's Steve, and...
I'm getting to that. Give me a fucking break. I'm
Slow down.
Sorry, it's late.
We're just... All right. And I was just going to say, I'm Steve, your host, and I'm here again with...
BC.
And...
BB.
And our keyboard player is...
Mr. Interruption, Dylan.
There you go. Yeah. Welcome
bad.
back, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of the episode 100, and it's just insane to think that we have recorded at least 100 times. We did a couple other things, so it's we have 100 and a couple.
Yeah.
But
Some change.
we've had such a great time doing this, and tonight is we're recording both episodes tonight. So the one that you heard a couple days ago, were recorded just like 20 minutes ago. So we're going to record tonight. Still, keep going. And we're not going to do what we listened to because we already did that. So what we're going to do is, throughout the 100 episodes, you guys, of all the stuff we had to listen to, what was the most painful thing that you had to listen to that you were like, what the fuck is this, that we had to do for the show? So, Dylan.
So there's a couple contenders. I was looking through the episodes. One really stuck out to me, and actually it was the first one that I thought of. It has to be Faster Pussycat Whipped. I hate that album. Madame Ruby's Love Boutique or whatever the fuck. The Big Dictionary.
Big Dictionary. That's a great song.
I hate that.
The 10-minute opener of Nonstop to Nowhere.
Yeah.
God, that album is just not good. And especially after Wake Me When It's Over, which is such a good album. And they go into that, and it's like, guys, what happened? So
Yeah.
I'm going to say Whipped.
All right. BC.
I'm not exactly sure what episode it was. You guys can probably help me out, but I was so excited to hear this album, and then when I listened to it, it was just like, oh man. It just like such a. I don't know if it's the letdown of it, and maybe I was in the mood. I don't know.
You can tell us who it was.
Nightwish. I don't know. We know what the album is.
I'm looking it up right
Hold
now.
on.
It's one with the weird name that none of us got right. It was Imaginarium.
Imaginarium. Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I think he's smoking crack. All right, but we'll take that. All right, BB.
Well, keep smoking crack because you know the album I'm going to bring out. I believe it was your birthday episode, and of course it's The Mission by Styx.
Oh!
I think it was a concept album episode.
That's right.
Album, yeah.
Like I don't understand what the hell you were smoking that night that you thought that was a good album to even bring to the table. But
You know what? And actually, BB, I got to say, I listened to it a couple times after that, and it's even fucking better. It's even fucking better than it was even then.
wow.
Bam!
I don't know. Maybe we can get a collection going. Maybe get the Whisper 5000 because I don't know what he hears.
Terrible.
We all know that Styx's best album is Kilroy was here.
I would rather listen to Kilroy was
Much
here
better.
8 million times
Much
before
better
The Mission.
concept album. Much better concept album.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is
The pattern
full.
is The Mission.
Okay, for me, there were. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, did you have a?
I do. There was actually a couple, but my main one was Weezer, the Blue Album from Dylan's birthday episode. Oh my God! Like
A million people can't be
fucking
wrong.
terrible.
Come on, Buddy Holly.
I just hated it. I seriously hated it, and that was an album that I knew he was going to pick, and I gave it another shot. And even though it mentions Ace and Peter, I don't care. It's still terrible.
Got Ace Frehley. I got Peter Criss.
So if you want to listen to some shitty albums, listen to Weezer the Blue Album.
That's a great album.
Faster Pussycat Whipped. If you want a great album, listen to Imaginarium from Nightwish and Styx the Mission. So they're fucking too good, too not so good.
I like that the two people that their personal music taste was called out was me and Dad. It's very interesting.
I know. Well, that's
Question your loyalty.
I question your commitment to the podcast. But I'll tell you what, and I'll tell you, they were all fun. And even if something sucked, it was fun just busting balls about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Especially now because we're still laughing about it.
Right.
And
and talk about that, like going out to Nashville at that time.
yeah, we did
the best.
I mean,
and we
were
did
like, oh my
we did what
God,
we did
Risk.
from Megadeth.
That
we
was
did
very
Diver Down
close to
from
me.
Van Halen,
Fast
which
Not
was
that album.
The Faster Pussycat.
the crown of the jewel of the crown.
Second best was Kilroy was here.
Kilroy,
Kilroy
how about
was
that? How about that? And I think the Mission was the best out of all of them.
The Mission wasn't.
We didn't even listen to
best.
them.
I fucked up too because I made a playlist of those and we were playing them because we were in my vehicle. I should have snuck the Mission in there so they had to listen to it again.
What the hell is this crap?
I would have been arriving in Nashville by myself. They would have all jumped the fuck out.
See, I like certain songs on the Mission,
Yeah.
but there's some that were just like
Yeah, what the hell is it?
I think you just need to give it a better chance.
just like.
I'm going to
Kilroy
pick it
was
again
here.
for my birthday episode next year.
God damn it.
Can we?
Why do you keep bringing it up?
Before we get into the Kiss stuff, I'm going to read a list of thank yous, and if you guys want to thank anybody else, when I'm done, just jump in. This is a list of people that have been guest hosts on the show and people that make the show possible. I'm going to say a big, huge thank you. We love you guys out there. First and foremost to my wife, Corey. She puts up with us doing this all the time, and she's got a million things going on. So thank you very much. Marisa Cohn, who makes our recording place possible, who is the director of our public library and is a good friend, and she supports us big time. Mark Satorka, who does the original music on the podcast, has been a guest on the podcast. Awesome guy. Sonny Pooney and Stephen Michael from the Grown Up Rock podcast. Their podcast is awesome. After you check us out, check those guys out. We did the solo albums with those guys. The episodes, they were kick-ass. Mark Anthony K. Estrogen, Jen Roberts-Vena, she's fucking awesome. Heather Shakir, always good to get Heather on here. I love her input on the shows. Ed Spangenberg, he's been a guest. He's done our logo. He does the Click Tea Shop. Rob Kelleher, Chris Granza, there are steadfast guys that are usually on the Kiss episodes with us. Maurice Manichetti, Carl Kennedy, awesome drummer from the Rods. They got a new album coming out next week, I think it is, on June 7th. It's called The Brotherhood of Metal, fucking kick-ass album. We'll have a lot more coming up about that. Scott Sadowski, Chris and Ed Jankowskis, Jim Polkowski, R.A. Furiosi, Adam Scotchos, Billy Kersetter from Harpo, Dakota Denman from the band Denman, Sean Duncan from DC4, Rick Rule and Jim Phipps from Every Mother's Nightmare, Johnny D from, he's got a good resume. He's, the drummer in Doro, Brittany Fox, the Kick, the NXS tribute band, fucking kick-ass, great guy. David Hudson and Chris Craig, great, steadfast friends that we made over the podcast from the Digital Killed, the Radio Star podcast. And David has a new podcast called The State of Amorica. I got it right, didn't I, Don?
Yes.
It's a Black Crowes podcast, so if you guys are Black Crowes fans out there, give that a listen. It's a really cool podcast. They even may turn me into a Black Crowes fan. No promises, but you never know. Joe Polo from Podcast Rock City, awesome guy. He has a great film out there, and we'll get him on the show. We'll have him have you guys get into it. Dave Borowski, Chris Sinzak, Aaron Martell, who has been a steadfast friend of our podcast. He has a podcast out there. It's called Ridiculous Rock Record Reviews, and it's something that I was talking with him back and forth, and he's got a great podcast going there. We'll talk about a couple other podcasts as we go on. So I want to thank everybody that has had anything to do with the show to help us progress the show, come on as guest hosts, and thank you guys. We love you, absolutely. What do you got, BC? Anything?
You name so many people, and there's so many people I can't even imagine thinking. But to me personally, I love everybody in our group here. We've become very good friends with Sonny and Steven from Grown Up Rock. and David and Chris from Digital Killed. I mean, I think we've come together with these guys the most out of everybody. Not to put anybody.
Oh, right, absolutely.
But I mean, these 4 guys have been, I think, the ones we have gelled with so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. David and Chris and Sonny and Steven, they're like our big brothers of podcasting. And for me, my family puts up with the shit. I'm walking around the house with headphones on, and they're trying to talk to me, and I'm not even listening. So for my wife, Randy, and my kids, thank you for understanding what we do and the addiction that I have. And a couple of guys in my little circle, Big Lou, Double D, and Glenn.
Is that a girl?
No.
Oh
no.
Damn.
They're always liking and sharing our stuff. So thanks to those guys, and they know who they are. So
get your mind out of it. Double D. Is that a girl? I like that.
Done.
Yeah, I want to thank my girlfriend Christine for the same reasons that everybody else thanked their significant others. There's a lot of time that goes into doing this podcast, and thank you for being so understanding about that. And I especially want to thank the listeners, because honestly, we would just be talking to dead air if not for you guys. And the way you guys engage and interact with us and comment on the videos we post on Facebook and reach out to us and let us know different things. It's really awesome that we have such a great community of fans and people that enjoy talking about hard rock and heavy metal, because ultimately it's about a conversation and making sure that we're continuing to put out to the air all this great music and sometimes not so great music, but making sure that we have fun and talk about it. And it's all thanks to you guys, so thank you very much.
Absolutely. And I got 2 more quick things here. First and foremost, I want to thank the guys that are sitting at the table here with me right now. BC, you've been with me from the beginning. Always, I mean, like I said, we've been doing this for years. I'm glad you had shared my vision with me to come on board and start it up.
I've actually been recording you from the beginning.
Yeah. There's going to be old BC. There's going to be in the BC vault, on the BC archives. And Dylan, thank you for introducing me to podcasts in the first place. You do an absolute kick-ass job with our editing and recording and everything like that. BB, thank you for giving us a shot in coming to check us out and see what it was all about. And then you were like, wow, this is kind of cool. So
right in.
So we're glad you were able to come on board with this. And I want to thank our listeners out there. You guys just kick ass. We have a great following, and I'm just amazed every time I look at our stats just to see the amount of people that listen to the show, and the places in the world that the people listen to the show is just fucking absolutely overwhelming. I read a list of all the countries that we have people listening to us is just absolutely fucking astounding and overwhelming and very humbling, and it's just fucking awesome. And that just goes to show that the music is the one thing in the world that you can put everything aside. You can put religion and politics and all that bullshit aside and just listen to fucking music and get along. It's amazing.
I was gonna say when you came to me with the idea of this, and I was like, oh, okay, because I had no idea what it was. And like I said, exactly, we've been doing this for years. He said, we're going to do this, and I'm like, okay. But until we went to the first Rock and Pie, I didn't totally understand it until we went to that.
Right, because we only had maybe 10 or 12 episodes in, maybe when we went down there.
Maybe. That's a big man.
I'm going to have to look that up because we went in August. But
until I got down there, I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? And you see it in the bigger spectrum.
Yeah, and it's a community. It is.
It is.
We made some awesome lifetime friends over this. If this was going to be our last show of the podcast, we would still be friends with these guys forever, I think. And it wouldn't be something that would end with the podcast. But we made some awesome lifetime friends over this, and I think that is the most important part, just the connection that you make to other people, and it's through this music that we love, and sometimes through music that we hate.
Why'd you point at me for that?
Huh? I didn't point at you. I was flailing my hands as I do.
And the music we hate.
You were just in the way of my hand wave at the
Could have put it
time.
at BC. Could have put it at.
All right, so
BC.
let's once again thank you guys out there. You guys fucking totally rock. And let's jump back into the episode. We left off at Destroyer last time,
Yes.
and like I said, it was kind of destroyed by us. And some good, some bad. BB is still shaking his head over Destroyer over there, and. Very successful tour for Destroyer, and they ramped it up. They had new costumes and everything, and these guys, another album within a year, November 11, 1976. This album comes out, Rock and Roll Over. So we got to check them out. They did a ton of shows. They went to all over the world, but they wanted them back in the studio. I don't know. I think that they wanted to get back to kind of their rock and roll roots, because I think a lot of Kiss fans at the time were scratching their heads after Destroyer. You have, the first 3 albums come out, then you have like this, the total rocking out of Kiss Alive, and then you have songs like Beth and Great Expectations on Destroyer. And I'm sure a lot of fans were like, man, these guys are great live, but like, what the fuck are they doing now? They had Kiss Alive out, and now we're singing with choirs and all this other shit. So they bring them back in, and not even into a studio. They recorded this at an old theater up in upstate New York, the Star Theater. They recorded this album pretty much live, and it's when it ended up being Rock and Roll Over, released on November 11th, 1976, out on when? Veterans Day. 33 minutes and 18 seconds long, are produced by Eddie Kramer, who produced Kiss Alive, and I think he got more of a rock and roll feel to this album. BB, this cover, actually, BB is wearing a Rock and Roll Over shirt right now.
Yep.
Now that I say
right.
that,
I love this album cover. It's busy. It's very busy. You have like Kiss in each corner. You have the pictures of each guy. You have a little Rock and Roll Over, kind of like a saw blade almost. I love this so much better than Destroyer, because it's such an eye catcher. And speaking of eye catcher, you got like a little ace with the spaceman eye beams shooting out, Gene's and his demon tongue.
Really has
they kind of put their personalities on
Has
it.
a
Yeah,
big curl in
it's a lot more than just a painting and stage costumes. It catches your eye a lot more, I think, than Destroyer. I really enjoy it.
I think it's the best album cover that Kiss has done. It's iconic. That was the floor that they had for the Kiss Unplugged, was this album cover. And again, it showcases the personality of the band's characters with the background. Like Gene has the flames, Ace has like the lasers coming out of his eyes and like the crazy space stuff behind him. Peter has like grass, I guess.
I always thought it looked like a birthday cake. Like the candles on a birthday cake.
That's what they still thought he was, a cloud. And then Paul has like the wings and the teardrop that wasn't a teardrop on some cases, but
Right. It was a misprint.
The misprint,
Thank you, BB, once again.
it's an iconic cover. I think that's the word you have to use to describe it, as iconic.
by far probably my all-time favorite Kiss makeup album. Like you said, the cover is just so much going on there. Like
Yeah.
the eyes, the tongue is like extra long, curled.
Whoa.
But this by far is my. I'm not spoiling anything, but
All
by
right.
far my favorite album.
I think it's cool. I always think of a frisbee when I see this album.
All right.
That would make a cool frisbee.
I really do. I always think that this would be just a fucking awesome frisbee. I like the album cover. I think it's really cool. It's very well done. And whenever I see this album cover, I think of my Kiss buddy Rob. He had when we were growing up, he had a Kiss Rock and Roll Over album cover iron-on. And his mom ironed it on all over the shirt. And it was like, I think it was blue. So it was so cool because like the whole shirt was like a blue Rock and Roll Over cover.
Oh, wow.
It was fucking cool as shit. And that's what I think of every time I see that album cover. And it's so vivid, so eye-catching. I think it's fantastic. This for me was one of the last of the original 6 studio albums that came on my radar. I don't know why. I want to say that Rock and Roll Over was just out or just coming out when I became aware of Destroyer. So I ended up getting, I think this was probably the last album that I got of the original 6 studio albums, because I know I had Alive 2 before I had this album. And once we get into the songs, I'll talk about that. And I'm not really sure how I think I became aware of it. Just was like, oh, like once I got Alive 2, like what are these other songs? Like what Ladies Room? Like what fucking album is that on? And I ended up, going to a record store and finding it. So I wasn't really totally aware of this album. Dylan.
Yeah. This is another one that I wasn't too positive about how I first got into it. I remember the album cover catching me immediately. It was absolutely the first Kiss album cover that I was like, holy shit. Like, Destroyer got me in the door, like, got me towards the window, but then this one got me in the door, I'll say, because it's like a comic book, and this is where I think you really start getting, like, them as, like, superheroes and, like, being larger than life and this like, force of otherworldliness, and I think this captures what they were trying to push out there really well. So yeah, that was I can't really think of a specific time that I first got into this album.
Yeah, this is, for me, it's definitely 86 or 87. I didn't have the cassette. I have the CD of this one. I don't know what took me so long, because it's just a great album. But, it's just one of those things of, not knowing what's out there at this time.
Not knowing what's out there in cash flow.
Exactly.
You hit their cash flow. I mean, I didn't get it when I don't think I had any of these albums when it first came out, because you didn't have your own cash.
Right.
So you're at the mercy of, hey, can you get me this? But I can remember getting this album. Rock and
Roll Over. All right, let's do a little song action here. Dylan, take side 1.
Okay, so we start off with I think a pretty awesome opener with "I Want You." It lulls you into a false sense of security, where in the morning, and then it kicks in, and I love especially towards the end when they repeat that and they have like the phase effect on the guitar. I think that's really cool. But an awesome opening song. This one does not squander its second song. Take Me is another like 1-2 punch. A great, and I love the Take Me, like the high chorus vocals are so good on that. Calling Dr. Love, I would say probably the most famous song on this album. Classic. Cowbell Action, of course. Sorry, I keep taking your points, BB. A really good Gene song, like classic Gene song, I would call it. Ladies Room, love that one too. For the longest time, I thought that was on Dressed to Kill for some reason. I don't know why. But an amazing song. And then ending with another great Peter Criss song. Like, Peter's killing it with this string of albums. Baby Driver is a classic. I was disappointed it wasn't in the movie of the same name. But a stellar first side of this album.
I agree with Dylan here. I mean, like I said before, this is my favorite Kiss album, Makeup Years. I Want You, classic opener for an album. And unlike other albums, second song, Take Me, continues the pace, I think. And Calling Dr. Love, another classic, Ladies Room, and like you said, Peter Criss's vocals on Baby Driver. One of my all-time favorite Kiss songs. And again, we're going back to the good Peter years.
Yeah.
But as far as the side one.
Side 1, I Want You, classic Paul song. I'm not sure what Baby Want You means.
Oh, come on.
But I was listening to that today in my vehicle, and I'm like, I'm not really
baby want you.
I think, but it was just like, it's like baby, like that's just kind of weird to me. Take Me, I love Take Me, and for a 10, 12-year-old kid listening to this song. You're hearing, put your hand in my pocket, grab onto my rocket feast.
Yeah.
Feels so good to see you receive. Baby got to know, do you want to know how you can make me feel? But then you got sitting in the back, her head down in my lap, moonlight shining down in her hair. What is she doing? The radio was playing, fingertips were straying. Her mama didn't know she was there. Like, there's a dude getting a blowjob in the back of his car that like 8-year-old and 9-year-old kids are fucking singing to. Awesome. Awesome.
Between my legs and seatbelt.
Calling Dr. Love, I think that has one of the absolute best Ace Frehley solos in a Kiss song. Ladies' Room, more to come on that. Baby Driver, classic Peter Criss. I love this song. I just still don't understand how he took that fucking turn on the solo album. Like, he had such good songs on the first batch of Kiss albums, and then he did that solo album, and it was just like, what the fuck? But Baby Driver is fucking awesome fucking song.
Yeah.
Dylan, side 2.
Side 2. Keeping it going with Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, another great Gene song. I love the, especially the drums, like, in it. Like, it's it's such a good song, and not a song that I would have immediately thought of as a side opener, but it works very well, I think. Yes. Sorry, the Blues just scored in overtime for the Stanley Cup.
Oh, good. Awesome. Sorry, Boston fans.
Mr. Speed, that's why the ladies call me
credit you
Mr.
with that.
Speed, a classic Kiss song. I'm sure BC will have a lot to say on that one. See You in Your Dreams. BC and I actually talked about that, a different version of it, though, in the Gene Simmons solo album. Great version, though. I really like it. It almost feels like a precursor to Tomorrow and Tonight in terms of feeling like almost like a classic rock and roll song in a little bit at times. Hard Luck Woman, you could absolutely tell this was written for Rod Stewart. It feels like I could just picture Rod Stewart singing it. I still think it's a great song. It's a different song for Kiss, and I think I like that they're trying something different. It's a better direction than Beth, and Peter is absolutely the best person in the band to have sung this song because his vocals work very well with it. And Making Love is such a powerful ending song. Like, that's a punch in the face of an ender. They're not going out with a whimper. They're going out with a bang. Honestly, it's two perfect sides to one of Kiss's best albums, in my opinion.
Again, Love and Leave 'Em, classic rocker. I mean, I love it. And by far, Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed. That's why the ladies call me BC. See You in My Dreams, like Dylan said, there's a version of this. It's great. Hard Luck Woman. If there is a weak spot on this album, and I don't mean weak spot, but I would say Hard Luck Woman is the weak spot on this album, if there is one.
Yeah.
And Making Love, like you said, you finished the album off with fucking Making Love.
Yeah, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. I love the higher pitched like opening guitar riff that he does, and Gene's vocals are just so cool in that. And it's just like a classic like rock and roll story that they're telling. You know, Mr. Speed and the opening riff, and that is so cool that Ace does. It has such like a little 70s vibe to it.
Yeah.
Like the sound of it. Now it's funny for me. Like See You in My Dreams. That was for me the weakest one on the side. Yeah, I know. Hard Luck Woman. You know, as much as you don't want to say, you know, you got to give props to Peter Criss. His vocals are really good on that song. And Making Love. It's a fantastic closer to this album, and it's really really good. So like I said, like the only for me the soft one is See You in My Dreams.
Side 2. Love 'Em, Leave 'Em. And what I want you to say, it's kind of cool because this was the first album. I'm sorry, it's not the first album. I should have talked about this during Rock and Roll Over. They did promos.
This is rock.
This is
back
rock
then.
and roll.
I'm sorry, Dress to Kill. Dress to Kill. I'm sorry. They did promos on Dress to Kill. They did Rock and Roll All Night. They did Come On and Love Me. For this album, they did 3. What they call them promos then, but they're what evolved into music videos. They did ones for Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, I Want You, and Hard Luck Woman. So they have like 3 from this album, which were cool. I think they put them on like Don Kirshner's rock concert or something like that. And so they're pretty much just them filmed lip syncing. But they have one for Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, which I thought was an odd choice for one of those promos. Kind of cool, but the song it's and I think that Love 'Em, Leave 'Em is maybe the weak song on this album for me.
Ooh, boy.
Mr. Speed is a kick-ass song. See You in Your Dreams, I like this version better than the one on the Gene solo album one. Hard Luck Woman, It's okay. It's I can take it or leave it. Making Love is a fucking cranking fucking song. The solo in that just totally fucking rips, and it's a great overall album. And BB, what do you think?
I don't want to say.
Overrated or underrated?
Oh, okay.
And then what would you fix on this or not?
Oh, okay. I think this album is underrated. I don't think there's enough love for this album because I think it's fucking fantastic. What would I change? Ooh. I think the only thing I would do, I would take out See You in My Dreams, but then you're probably unbalanced on time-wise, but I think See You in My Dreams is the weak spot for me, so it's one of those, let's get that out of there, but...
All right. BC.
Overrated, right?
Totally underrated. And when you really look at it in the big scheme of things, I would have changed something.
Okay. Dylan.
Yeah, it's absolutely underrated, and I think I'm with BC. I think the album is good as is.
Okay. Send the hate mail to Steve. I think this album is overrated. I love it.
What about it is overrated?
BC's gonna stab me any second now. And this is one of the albums that a lot of people cite as like the BL and Now to Kiss albums. I like it. I love this album, but I do think it's overrated. I think Hard Luck Woman, it's okay. Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, See You in Your Dreams, they're kind of weak songs. And what I would change about this album is I would change I Want You and Making Love. I would open the album with Making Love, and I would end with I Want You. Dylan's shaking his head.
I don't think so.
I mean, that's my opinion. I love Baby Driver. Favorite song on the album, I'm going to say right now, my favorite song on this album is Ladies Room. Absolutely fucking love this version of it. It's a little more it's way more toned down than the Live 2 version, which Live 2, they fucking play everything so fast on that album. But I really, really love the album version of Ladies Room on this album. Song for you, BC. Mr. Speed, right? Shocking.
There's so many, but if I had to pick one, Mr. Speed.
BB.
Love 'Em, Leave 'Em.
Done.
I think between Calling Dr. Love and Making Love, I'm going to go Making Love.
All right, cool. All right. When they went out on tour with this album, they pretty much stayed in the Destroyer costumes, which I think were awesome. I think they were definitely a step up from the costumes from Kiss Alive.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Anyone?
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
You know, I mean, you could see there was a little more money thrown into them.
A little bit.
So they pretty much did Destroyer and Rock and Roll Over tour with the Destroyer costumes, and in late '76, early '77, they went to Japan and they recorded stuff live at the Budokan there, which they were going to release then for a live album, but they ended up not liking it for some reason or not, and they ended up going back into the studio and recording the Love Gun album, which came out on June 30th, 1977, and it took, they were in the studio for a month for this one, so it wasn't a real long, thing in the studio. I mean, these guys, they're still cranking albums out, like, boom, boom, boom. Eddie Kramer, they got him back to do Love Gun, and I think that, and this was Ace's debut of a lead vocal on an album, and this may be the last album that you have just the original Kiss guys playing on an album. Let's start with the album cover, Dylan.
So I'm just going to start off by saying that this is my favorite Kiss album of all time. And I really love the album cover, too. I think it's a step up of Destroyer. Like, it's taking Destroyer and it evolves it. Like, you have all the women in the white...
Well, they conquered the world in Destroyer. Yeah, now they get all the women.
They first immortality, then the women. They're like, and again, like, Gene, you can see Gene's personality shining through in that album cover. Everybody else is not really, but I think it's awesome. And again, it's showing off the cool costumes, the different costume change, and it's a way of allowing people in on Kiss's look without having them, like, if they can't make a concert, like, they can be like, okay, so this is what they're going with for this iteration of the band. And I think it's awesome. It's well painted. iconic. I could just pick, if I close my eyes, I could picture it perfectly, and that's the sign of a good album cover.
I love this album cover. I mean, when you first, and going back to when I was this age when this came out, and when I first finally got it, and like I say, different outfits. So of course you pick up on that,
and you study them,
and you study the outfits, and you study the women that were on the album. At least I did. I don't know.
There's a lot of cleavage on that front of that cover.
Exactly. I mean, as a young boy, I mean,
I was 9 when this bad boy came out. And the hormones were
I don't know. You
just
said
ramping the fuck up.
I don't know. You said you were studying the costumes first. Were you looking at Gene's giant codpiece first? Before
I was not.
Well, after the copies, and then you look at all the women like. But when it comes to this, and maybe between this and Destroyer, you gotta go Love Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with these guys. This is, at least there's something, just not the guys in their costumes. At least there's like some women looking at them. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a lot. I think it's definitely a lot better than Destroyer.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect evolution of the Kiss album cover after Destroyer. Rock and Roll Over was definitely an anomaly. This was like, boom, here's the faces in your face, but now let's get the costumes back in, but let's tone it down, but like ramp it up at the same time. And definitely an iconic thing. One of my probably my favorite album cover. And we'll get into the album in a little bit. But how did this album come on your radar, BC?
It's very fuzzy. But I can remember picking this album up, and of course, back then, you're picking up an album in your hands. You're like, whoa. And then you get home, you open it up, and at that time, it had the gun. They had it bang, you know. I mean,
which I didn't get because I had the cassette.
But I mean, to me, that was it's just the experience. And today's world lacks that. Vinyl's making a huge comeback.
But you don't get that little extras.
You don't get that little, especially in the Kiss world, where you got the gun, you got all this stuff.
You get the colored vinyl instead of just a black vinyl.
Yeah, you get color vinyl is the big thing nowadays.
Okay, so this is one that I actually do remember the first time.
Uh-uh.
The movie Detroit Rock City.
Yeah,
The opening scene. The mother is in her den. She's about to put on. Does anybody remember what albums that she thinks she's putting on?
Oh,
She's the
God.
Carpenters.
The Carpenters.
The Carpenters.
So she takes the disc out of the vinyl sleeve, puts it down, drops the needle. I Stole Your Love comes blaring out of the speakers.
But if you watch that movie, when she puts that album down, it's side 2 that is on there. But then with Love Gun the first song, but then when it plays, it's I Stole Your Love.
And she's like struggling to get the cord, to rip the cord out of the
freaks
wall.
out.
And I remember thinking, this is a really good song.
That should have made her a fan instead of, you know what I mean?
And then I remember I was looking around the attic and I found an 8-track of Love Gun.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the first time I saw the cover. And I fell in love with this album on first listen. It's such a good album.
Yeah, this is one of those early 80s cassette ones that I got that I have no clue when, where, why, how. You know, that little early 80s is a little bit of a blur. It's just somehow I ended up with it. But
Yeah. This was the second official Kiss album that I ever bought with my own money that I actually owned. The first Kiss I had was Destroyer, but that was on a made cassette. And then I had the first Kiss album. I got that. I want to say that someone brought me the first Kiss cassette at my sister's birthday party. I want to say.
You have a sister?
I do have a sister. I do. That's a running joke in our family. No one thinks we have a sister. And then I remember I picked up, and it had to be the late summer of '77, and I could still remember the house that I live in now is the house that my grandparents owned. That was next door to my house, and I remember very vividly buying that cassette at Ames Department Store, like running home. And if you knew where Ames Department Store was and where we lived, there's no way in God's creation that I could ever fucking run that now.
It's a steep hill.
It's a fucking hill and a half. And I remember grabbing my little cassette player and going up into the back bedroom of my grandparents' house, which is my house now,
Charlie Bucket with the
and
golden ticket.
putting that cassette in and listening to that over and over again. This is probably my most listened to Kiss album of all time, and it just holds, other than Destroyer being the first one that I heard, this is the one that like captured me the most, and it's just fucking absolutely phenomenal. So I am going to take side one.
Wow, I wonder why.
I Stole Your Love. Besides Detroit Rock City, I don't think there's a better opening song on a Kiss album, or could be for a Kiss show. When we saw them for the Hot in the Shade tour, they open up with I Stole Your Love, I believe. Wow. Right, BC?
That's crazy.
I want to say yeah.
Again.
Setlist FM, don't, while we're talking about
Help
it.
us out.
I Stole Your Love, I love, and a lot of people complain about the production on this album. I fucking absolutely love it. And the first time I listened to it was on a little cassette player with like one fucking speaker. And like now with the headphones, I'm like, it just takes me right back there. Christine 16, absolutely love it. And Dylan did give me the yes. It was the first song on the Hot in the Shade tour, which like that was when Kiss for me was back. And I Stole Your Love was just fucking phenomenal. I love the jangly sound of the opening riff of that. The beginning, the first part of the guitar solo was Paul, and then Ace comes in. Christine 16, creeper, Gene pedophile fucking song. Still good song. It's got the piano there. And Got Love for Sale. If you
Terrible
people that know me that don't know my love for the song, you don't know me at all. Shock Me. This is one of the very few songs that I like the studio version way better than any live version that's out there.
You don't like we got a little surprise for you tonight.
I like that part of it, but I still just love the original of that. And Tomorrow and Tonight, I think, is one of the most underrated fucking Kiss songs out there. Side one, BC.
I agree with you when you say the open album, even the show. I Stole Your Love. Classic Kiss on the open album. Christine 16 is the creeper of the Kiss songs, but again, great song. Got Love for Sale, classic in my book. Shock Me, which I was an Ace guy back in the day, and of course you love that song. Ace Frehley's playing. Come on, you're not going around. Tomorrow Tonight. I remember back then it was like, but as I grew older, I love that song. And to me, it's a great side one.
Yeah, I Stole Your Love is the best Kiss opening song. So much so that they tried to copy it with Hell or Hallelujah and didn't quite get there, but I Stole Your Love is just such a perfect song. Paul's vocals are great. I love the drum blast before the chorus kicks in. Like it's such a perfect.
How do you feel?
I love that too. Christine 16, the lyrics are creepy, but it's a great way to change the pace of the album, but in an interesting way. Like it slows it down for I Stole Your Love, but it's still engaging and it's still like in your face. It starts off with that awesome bass. Got Love for Sale is okay. It's a great song, and this is the first song that.
And Steve disowns his son.
This is the first song that like this album. A lot of the songs feel like a rock and roll album, and this one does with like the whoa no and the background vocals. It feels like a rock and roll song. And Shock Me is a classic song, an awesome debut on lead vocals for Ace Frehley. It is Ace's signature song for me and for everybody basically. And Tomorrow and Tonight is the other like rock and roll song on this record, like on this side of the record. That like I love the piano and I love the female background vocalists. It's such a nice rock and roll song, and I know that was the song that they were like, this is gonna be the follow up to Rock and Roll All Night, but then it didn't really go anywhere.
They never released it as a single,
and like they never played it live until 2016. Like this is that's such a great song. Like how do you not play it live?
Right, and. Christine 16 and Got Love for Sale were two of the songs that Gene demoed with the Van Halen brothers.
Yes.
And the solo, for as much as it is a solo, is the original that Eddie Van Halen played and Gene made Ace play it note for note. And that is actually true because it is that way on the Gene Simmons Vault. And the version of Got Love for Sale on the Gene Simmons Vault, there's no way in God's green earth that Ace Frehley can play the fucking solo that Eddie Van Halen played in that version. Fucking kick ass. I'm sorry, go ahead, BB. I just want to throw that out there.
That's cool because I knew they were the 2 songs that they actually did. I Saw Your Love is probably one of the best opening songs on any Kiss album going. Christine 16, Gene's bass and vocals are spot on that song. I really think it's one of the better ones of Gene's on this album. Got Love for Sale. I wrote down that Steve song. That is Steve's song. And Shock Me, you got Ace finally getting a little love in the band, and I think he really showcased what he can actually do, not only vocally but guitar wise. I thought he really did a great job. Tomorrow and Tonight, I must have hearing problems because I don't like it. I don't get it, and I don't like it. I understand it's the 70s.
It's the most different sounding song on the first side.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
It for as good of a song that I like it, it's the oddball on that side.
Yeah, I would say so.
It really it is like
as is the
sound and feel wise. Side 2, Dylan.
Okay, so we lead off side 2 with the title track "Love Gun," a classic, still played live today. The drum blast at the beginning that pairs up with the guitar is iconic. The solo in it is cranking. Honestly, Ace is on his game on this album. Like, the solos he does on this album are so interesting and different. And I love, like, this. I call it a staircase build, like, from the chorus and then going into, like, the. It's so cool. And I love the. Oh, it's so interesting what he does with the solo in that song. Hooligan, I think, is Peter Criss's best song. I especially love the. Ooh, I'm a hooligan. It's like it's another rock and roll feeling song. Dropped out of school when I was 22. Like it just feels like a perfect, fun Peter Criss song, and like what I wanted his live album to be, or his solo album to be. That it wasn't.
And it wasn't.
Yeah. Almost Human. Almost Human is a bit of a. It's a good song. I like it. I think it's a weaker Gene song. I still think it's amazing, but I think it's like, not too bad. Plaster Caster. I like the unplugged version a little better, but I do like this version. Really weird subject matter where like this woman was like gathering plaster molds of like a bunch of famous people's penises, which is really a strange hobby, but I guess to each their own.
Some people collect coins.
Some people
Yeah.
plaster.
If you want to see my love, just ask her. Okay, so Then She Kissed Me. A lot of people hate this song. Everybody around the table raised their hand. I don't mind it. It's a weird song to put on the album. It's just like with Kissin' Time. Like they added on there for no reason. The album, would be fine without it. I don't mind it. I don't think it's the worst thing that they've ever done. To look at, anything off the Destroyer. But I mean, it's a boring song. I would say, like, not much happens in it, but it's keeping with the kind of, I don't know. But it's okay. It's the weakest song on the album, obviously. But this is perfect album if you overlook Then She Kissed Me.
Love Gun. To me, one of the Desert Island Kiss songs I would take with me.
Yeah.
Hooligan. Again, Peter Criss is still
This game.
Bringing it.
He's on his game. He's been bringing it. But Almost Human, love it.
I'm almost human.
Plastic Caster, funny song. This girl.
You want to see my love?
See my love, just ask her.
Ask her.
And then they finish out the album with Then She Kissed Me, which to me, after this whole album, that song loses me.
Love Gun, it has that iconic opening guitar riff, then drum combo. Paul's voice is starting to be spot on at this point at his age. Hooligan.
At his age, he was in his 20s.
Yeah, that's true.
The ripe old age of 27.
Of 20, yeah. Hooligan. It's probably Peter's second best song behind Getaway in my eyes. Almost Human. You gotta love the gong in there.
Yeah.
There's a gong going on. Gene's vocals are really, really cool because another one of those Gene songs that actually fits his persona. Plastercaster, probably the funniest lyrics of any Kiss song ever. And then you probably have the worst closing song of all times on any Kiss album of Did She Kiss Me?
All right, Love Gun. My only problem with Love Gun is I'm gonna make you feel okay. Like, do you really want to bang a chick and have her say he was okay?
Okay.
Like, you know, that's my only.
He's underplaying how amazing he is.
That's my. Oh yeah, okay. That's my okay. That's my only problem with that song. I love Hooligan. I think it's cool. I don't think it's his best song. I like Baby Driver and Getaway a little better, but Hooligan is still it's in the pocket song. Actually, I do like Dirty Living the best. Actually, by the way, Almost Human, another quintessential Gene Demon song. Plastercaster, great song. Love the version on Kiss Unplugged, way better, but still a good song. Then She Kissed Me. This is the song that brought down what would have been a perfect fucking Kiss album. The pretentiousness of Paul's vocals in the song just fucking drive me insane. It's like hearing him sing Odyssey. I just want to run out into fucking traffic when I fucking hear this song. And I fucking... Words cannot describe how much I hate this fucking song.
Let me ask you, would you rather listen to Then She Kissed Me or Twisted Sister's cover of Leader of the Pack?
Just give me a choice of bridges to jump off of
Leader
instead.
of the Pack.
I'd rather listen to fucking Static.
I feel like it's the same. I feel like it's the same energy.
Yeah, just not good. And this is my Kiss album. I love this album. This is the one that I identify with the most. This is the one that I've listened to the most. I fucking absolutely love it. Love the sound of it. That's the only thing that I don't like about this album is that song, and it's fucking terrible. The only good part of that song is the
I like the riff, yeah.
At the end when it
riff is
kind of
cool.
fades out to that. But if that was a 9-song album, I would be totally fucking happy. But if it was a 9-song album, I wouldn't have ended it. I would have probably ended it with Tomorrow and Tonight rather than Plastercaster. I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna. For me, I think this album is vastly underrated. And what I would change about this album is I would chop off and Then She Kissed Me. And my ultimate favorite Kiss song is Got Love for Sale. So give me a 3-pack, BC. Overrated or underrated, what would you change in your song?
I don't think it's either. I think it's...
Perfectly rated.
You think it's rated where it should be?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't think it's one or the other.
I think it's underrated. A lot of people bash it.
Really?
Who bashes it?
Yeah, I never.
I've never heard any.
There's some other podcasts out there, they fucking hate it. Pretentious people.
If I had to pick one song, it's got to be the "I Stole Your Love." There's a few others that are very close, but "I Stole Your Love" is my favorite.
All right. See, I'm gonna be in the overrated category. If you take out Tomorrow and Tonight and Then She Kissed Me, I think you're good with an 8-song album. And then I'm just BC Stole My Song. I'm gonna say Love Gun.
That was my second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna agree with BC. It's perfectly rated where it is. I think everybody, a lot of people know that this is like one of their best albums, and give it the praise. I've never heard anybody bash it, but I'm sure there's people out there.
It's been bashed. I'm just going by them.
In terms of changing things, yeah, I'd get rid of Then She Kissed Me. It's not needed. It's fluff. I almost consider it a bonus track in my mind. And I would.
Bonuses are supposed to be good.
Not necessarily. They're throwaway.
You get a bonus
songs.
at work? Is it a bad thing?
Well, it's. Anyways. And yeah, I would move Tomorrow and Tonight to the last song because I think that's a better closer than She Kissed Me. It's really tough picking a song. This is the hardest one for me to pick a song. because they're all so good except for Then She Kissed Me.
Yeah.
Boy, it's almost like you just throw at a dartboard and what one do you pick? I think I'm gonna go with, just to be different, I'm gonna go with Tomorrow Tonight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh. Bam.
I think so. Honestly, I would pick any song except for Then She Kissed Me, because they're all like top tier Kiss songs in my mind. I love them all. They're all perfectly crafted. Some of the songs I like better versions of elsewhere, but every one is really good, except for Then She Kissed Me.
All right. With Kiss Alive, you got songs from Kiss self-titled,
Yes.
Hotter Than Hell, and Dress to Kill. So they wanted to kind of keep it in continuity here to do songs from Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun. So we have what is called Kiss Alive 2.
No exclamation point though.
No exclamation point.
Not as exciting.
No. Well, because it wouldn't look
Not
right.
as
Because that would make it look like Kiss Alive 3, I think.
Alive!
If they put that 3. Yeah.
Or is it Alive 2?
Once again, they stuck with Eddie Kramer on this one. I think with the success that they've had with Kiss Alive and Rock and Roll Over and Love Gun, I think they made a good choice of sticking with him. Not totally recorded on the Love Gun tour. There were couple songs that they grabbed from the Budokan thing, which I think was Beth and I Want You from the one that they were going to record. They recorded on the Budokan in '76. But I think they did a decent job of picking songs. There was a misprint on the original vinyl that they had totally fucked up track listing. They had Take Me in there. They had Do You Love Me? They had Hooligan in there. And I remember my buddy Rob Jones, he had a birthday party, and he got Kiss Alive 2 for his birthday. And I want to say it was September, October-ish. And I remember when he opened the present, and then we, of course, had to go put it on. And so we're looking, Hooligan, Take Me, and we put it on, these songs aren't on there, what the fuck is going on? And Rob Jones, if you're listening out there, I think you're probably not, but if you have that Kiss Alive 2 version, I will gladly take it off your hands for $10.
Or the 5-finger discount.
Yeah. But before we get into it, we know BB already is not a fan of this if you listened to the last episode, I think. Let's do the cover. Dylan, what do you think of the cover of this album?
It's probably a weaker cover. I mean, it's better than Alive 3, I'll say. It's I don't quite know what they're doing, because the album covers before this were all about emphasizing the band and how they're larger than life, to crib a quote from one of the songs. And then this album cover, they're really minimalizing them, shoving them in the corner. It's all about the text. It's like a Citizen Kane thing. And I don't know quite what they were thinking with that, because they were all about their image. And even the next album cover, it's just their faces. That's the whole album cover. So to shove them down in the corner, did they not have any good live shots this time, or what was going on? So I'm not a big fan of it.
I can remember this when this came out, and of course, back then, this is all you had. There was no internet. There was no. You picked this up, you're like, oh, cool. I mean, of course, you got Gene with the Blood, and but to what me stands out with this album, not the cover, but when you open it up, the
gatefold.
The gatefold to me was like, you know what I mean? When you open it up, it was like, I can always remember that clearly. I can't tell you what's on the back of the cover, but when you open it up, it's like, you're like, I remember opening up and like.
You have a bigger version of those pictures.
Yeah. Okay. But after you open up,
you don't give a shit about anything else.
You don't give a shit about anything else.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring anything to the table with this one, I guess it is going to be the gatefold picture of the stage. But then you turn it on the back, and then you have the bigger pictures. So honestly, you think about it, the cover is probably the weakest side of this LP that they're trying to sell.
And that's the first thing people see.
Yeah.
I totally disagree. I think that this is a fucking brilliant album cover, because at this point, Kiss Alive, you're seeing the cartoon things of the guys. When you walk through, you see Kiss. That's the
Okay.
first fucking thing you see is Big Kiss.
So you're going for the name recognition. Okay.
Absolutely. And Alive, boom, holy shit. And then you could you see that is the biggest logo that I think was ever on any Kiss album before then or up even now. And I think that it is a more recognizable cover than Kiss Alive, and way more recognizable than Kiss Alive 3. I love it. I love the red and blue logo of it. And I think that just the Gene picture alone is so fucking badass.
Yeah, that's cool.
And when you flip it over and you see that on the back, you're like, because it's wrapped in cellophane, so you're not, you don't know what that gatefold is until you get that motherfucker home. But like you grab that, you're like, oh my god, you can picture holding it up in the record store. Oh my god, Kiss Alive 2. Look at it, huge Kiss logo, and then you flip it over and you see the bigger version of those pictures. Like just Gene alone makes you run to the cash register and buy this fucking album. That is the probably most badass picture of Gene Simmons fucking ever fucking snapped.
I can see
Love
your
it.
point.
The makeup is different. Look at Gene's makeup on that picture.
You're obsessed with
it's
the
different.
the
It is. He
things
does
of
so many
Gene's.
different things with the makeup. But look at from what he's done before and up to then. That makeup is different, and he only did it, I think, for like the LA shows. That makeup configuration. I think it's brilliant. I think it is brilliant. I think it is marketed fucking fantastic. And when you do open that bad boy up, you're like, fuck the front cover. Look at this shit that's inside here. And like every single effect that they used in the show is like boom, right in that picture. Absolutely fantastic. Game changer for a Kiss Live album. Kick ass. Let's do our sides again. BB, you're gonna do side 1 this time.
All right, side 1 opens up Detroit Rock City. We already talked about this before. Iconic song from these guys. Ace's guitar work, fantastic on this particular song. King of the Nighttime World, really, really so much better than the actual version of their actual album. Ladies' Room, another Gene, like this song for Gene is spot on. Like it just persona what Gene actually tries to sell of him and all of his women. Just a great tune. Making Love, Paul Stanley. See now you go from Gene to Paul just selling sex. Fantastic. But I really liked on this one Peter Criss's drum work on this one. Making Love is fantastic for Peter Criss, and Love Gun, like another iconic song. Fantastic vocals from Paul Stanley.
Yeah, it's a good opening side. My favorite thing is hearing, all right, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, Kiss. It's such an awesome way to open a fucking album, and right there you hook me. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, this is how you do it. And honestly, it's a great side. They chose some really awesome songs to open up this album. I honestly really like Alive 2, so you won't hear any complaints from me.
I agree with both of you so far. I mean, there's not a bad song on this first side. And to me, Dylan said it. I mean, I like Alive 2.
Yeah.
Alive 2 gets a lot of hate. I don't
It
know
does.
why. I like it.
Yeah.
Song-wise, I mean,
Yeah, I think Alive 2 gets a lot of shit. I know, and BC, you mentioned on the Kiss Live version that the audience is for as much as the audience is ramped up on Alive, it's times about 100 on Alive 2.
Yeah.
I love Alive 2. I've told the story before. I got it on Christmas Day. I walked through a fucking blizzard under my fucking aunt's house to pick this album up. Got home. I listened to it straight for about 30 years. And the thing that gets me that they play these songs so fast on this album. It's so ramped up. Like Detroit Rock City, King of the Nighttime World, great. Like Ladies' Room is at fucking warp speed compared to the Rock and Roll Over version.
Yeah.
Making Love, still, just a cranking song, but Love Gun, Ace's guitar is so out front, and that last solo part on Love Gun is great. And BB, you touched on it. The drums, I love the drum sound on Kiss Alive too. And you're right, BC. It gets a lot of shit, but I absolutely fucking love it. Dylan, give us side 2.
Awesome. This is the side that I wanted to get because this side I think showcases
Total by chance, by the way.
showcases one of my favorite parts of this album, and it's Paul's stage banter. He's like, I know everybody's feeling a little hot. You got a little rock and roll pneumonia. Let's call out Dr. Love. Just start off calling Dr. Love. Love that. Like, I always think of that whenever I hear calling Dr. Love. And I absolutely love that version of it. Christine 16 is awesome. Shock Me, again, we got a little surprise for you tonight. We're going to turn the microphone over to Ace Frehley. Shock Me. Then it goes into it. It's so good. Like, it's earworm. Man.
They left just enough in there.
Yeah, it's perfect. And it makes you immediately, it's just like with Cold Gin on Alive. You always think of that little thing at the beginning. Like with these, that's what I think of. That's like my way of introducing these songs. Hard Luck Woman, I'm not a giant fan of this version of Hard Luck Woman. I don't know what it is. It doesn't quite hit me the way that the original version does. I don't know if it's because it's a little up on the tempo. I don't even know if it's that different. I'm just not a fan of the way it translates.
Well, they recorded Hard Luck Woman in Tomorrow and Tonight. That was like a sound check thing.
Oh, okay.
They didn't perform them actual live in front of an audience.
Yeah.
They did them in sound check, and then they spruced them up in the studio.
Yeah, maybe that's why, because I think these two songs,
They have a different sound.
yeah, they have a different sound, and they seem a little less energetic than the other songs. And maybe it's because they didn't have a crowd to feed off of, because I know that's a big thing, that like it's good to have an on crowd. But yeah, those two, they absolutely feel a bit different and a little more low key, if that makes sense.
They do have a different sound, but I think the only thing that's consistent in those songs is the drum sound.
Yeah,
I think the drum sound is consistent through the whole album.
Yeah.
Well, first 3 sides.
Yeah, the side 4 is a different beast.
BB?
Yeah, this side for me, this may be where it loses me. And I don't know if it's I'm so sick of hearing Shock Me, and I don't like Hard Luck Women, and I don't like Tomorrow and Tonight. But, Calling Dr. Love is fantastic, and Christine 16 is really, really good. But, like, nothing thrills me on this side. And
Boy.
I question your loyalty, right? Say it. Say it.
I question your sanity. All right, BC.
Again, side 2, Calling Dr. Love. How can you go around with this song? And Christine 16, classic Gene Simmons. Shock Me. Let's turn the vocals over to Ace Frehley, which this is like.
Well, finally.
Hard Luck Woman. That's my weak spot. That's my weak spot. Tomorrow Tonight. I say great. You know what I mean? My weak spot on side 2 is Hard Luck Woman. I don't know what, like you said, you didn't record live, maybe, but even on the album,
Yeah, like for me, Calling Dr. Love, I still love the solo on this song. Ace totally fucking nails it in there.
Yeah.
The drums sound fucking awesome. Christine 16, I like the version. It's kind of cool hearing it without the piano. Mm-hmm. Shock Me. Love the version. Still not better than the studio version, but I like the jam before he gets into the solo. Love that. I fucking love that. Hard Luck Woman. I'm a BC on that. I love it. It sounds more like I don't know if they use like a sitar or whatever on that. It sounds like a country, more of a country song,
Like a lap, like a
steel guitar. I think it sounds more like a country song on Alive 2 more than it does on Rock and Roll Over. Tomorrow and Tonight, I think is even though it was not performed in front of a crowd, and actually I was one of the first 1,500 people to see them ever perform that live on the Kiss Cruise. I like it better on there than on the album, but it is still good on the album. But side 2 is good. I'm a BC. Hard Luck Woman. To live without it. BC, take side 3.
Side 3, we're going to start off with I Stole Your Love. Again, great opening album song, great opening concert song, gives a great live song. And then Beth, I mean, by this time, they had to play Beth.
Did they,
But-
though? No, they did.
They're trying to even it off at that time. God of Thunder, of course, to me, even to this very day, God, it's always that very, takes me back to when I first heard it. Okay. It takes me back to when I put the fucking record on and you're sitting there listening to it. And it just like kind of freaks me out. I Want You. I like that song. I want you. Come on. Yeah. And of course the Shout It Out Loud, which I mean I'd rather hear Rock and Roll over than I Rock and Roll All Night than I always say Rock and Roll Rock and Roll All Night than Shout It Out Loud for some reason. I don't know, but I could do without that song. I don't know why. There's something about that song that just turns me off.
Okay.
Yeah, I Stole Your Love, I think is the showcase of this album. If you don't have I Stole Your Love on this album, it's like to me it's like a boat anchor because this song is so good. It is probably it carries so much on this album, and then Beth is the iconic song. You have to throw it on there because it sells so good live. And same as God of Thunder, you're doing your blood, blood
yeah.
thing in that. So
By now,
that's the thing you have to throw out there because another one of the iconic songs that you have to do.
Yeah, I agree. Like
you know
by
what I
now, this is your trademarks almost. I guess.
And I Want You is really good because Ace showcases another really good solo on that one, and then Shout Out Loud is it's all right. It's not bad. There's some good harmonies in it. I'll give it that. But but definitely on that side, I Stole Your Love is the driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I Stole Your Love is wherever you put it, it's gonna be like a show-stopping song. That's just how it is. And then like you go from I Stole Your Love to Beth, which is quite the dichotomy. That's like you're riding up a hill and all of a sudden the hill disappears and you're in a freaking valley.
Yeah.
Still a good version of it. It's it's listenable and they had to do it, and for a song they had to do it. Peter sings it very well. God of Thunder, classic. I Want You, another amazing song. Shout It Loud is not the song that I would pick to close out a live album or a live portion of a live album. It seems a very strange choice. Again, I would have, like you said, you would switch I Want You and Rock and Roll Over. I would switch I Want You to with Shout Out Loud. I think it's a better closer than that.
Yeah. What you have to really remember about Kiss Alive 2, it's not an actual concert souvenir of the show, because when they were doing these songs, there were still songs from the older catalog in the set. I mean, and even notwithstanding the errors that were on the one pressing of the album with Take Me, Hooligan, Do You Love Me, that they did play those songs live, and Hooligan, they did play those songs live, but they were also playing like Firehouse and Rock and Roll All Night. They were Strutter. They were still playing songs from their first 3 albums, but they didn't want to repeat any songs on the next live album that were on the first live album. So you're kind of getting a smattering of what they were doing at the time, songs that were played, songs that were dropped, and Tomorrow and Tonight and Hard Luck Woman that they didn't play pretty much at all. So they had to throw something in there to take the place of the songs that they were playing from their older albums. But as far as side 3 goes, I Stole Your Love is kick-ass, and there were shows that they opened up with that song. Beth, that, and I Want You were 2 songs that were recorded from the previous tour. And Beth, you know what? I don't discuss that song.
I hear you coming.
God of Thunder, way, way, way fucking better than the Destroyer version. It's up tempo. They play it fast, and I absolutely love the drum solo in it. I think I love it so much because it's not long, but it's good. And I'm sure the drum solo that Peter actually played during those shows was significantly longer, but it was edited down to what you have on this album, and I think it's fucking kick ass. I will take that over 100,000 Years any day, because you don't have the, all the wild people over here. You don't have all that shit through the whole thing either. I Want You was a fantastic version. Unfortunately, these days, Paul could never do the, he could not do that call and response anymore. Shout It Out Loud, I think it's not the greatest ending song for this live album, but it's probably the obvious choice, I think, for the songs that were, that they played live there. That was pretty much out of Rock and Roll Over, Destroyer, and Love Gun. That is pretty much the rock and roll night out of those albums.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you have that there.
And it was Beth, you cowards.
Yeah. Oh God. Side 4. I'll take this one. All American Man, Rockin' in the USA, Larger Than Life, Rocket Ride, Any Way You Want It. Ace Frehley, the only song he played on, I guess, was Rocket Ride. And
He played all the stringed instruments on that.
yeah. So it was pretty much Ace and Anton Fig playing that, pretty much that whole song, I think. And All American Man, absolutely love that fucking song. Guitar work from Bob Kulick, kick ass. Rockin' in the USA, kind of a campy song, but it's good. I like it. Larger Than Life, which I think is a kick-ass fucking Gene song. It's got a great, dirty, gritty feel to it. Rocket Ride, which I guess was a leftover from what he was going to put on his solo album. So that was out there. That is a kick-ass song. Any Way You Want It, that is the Then She Kissed Me song of Kiss Alive 2. Which I don't know.
Kiss doesn't do covers very well.
What the fuck was going on with that? You know what? Just put 4 songs out. Don't fuck things up like you did with the last album. So 2 really studio efforts in a row. Total ball drop on the covers. BB.
Yeah, I don't have a clue why they did that. I don't have a clue why they put these 5 songs on this album.
Wow.
Don't have a clue.
Skating.
They had to fill up a 4th side.
We will get to that one.
Go ahead.
Interesting.
You want me to keep going? So do you want me to tell you what I would change on this album?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No. I thought we were just going to go through the songs.
No. All right. Well,
He doesn't
All
like
American Man is ridiculous. Rockin' the USA is pretty much, I don't know why Gene Simmons is rocking in the USA when he usually talks about sex and ridiculous 16-year-olds. Larger Than Life is probably the only one that somewhat fits Gene's persona. Rocket Ride, as you said, it probably should have been on Ace's solo album, and Any Way You Want It is just a piss song.
Is he a Kiss fan? Is he fucking... Are you an actual Kiss fan?
I'm telling you.
I quit your Kiss page.
BC.
Again, I love these songs. I mean, okay, except for number 20. All
of a sudden.
All American Man, classic. I throw down and crank it up, Rockin' the USA.
How could you not like that fucking song?
Again, yes.
Are you a communist? Are you a fucking communist?
Are you not an American man? Rockin' the USA. Come on, bitches. And then Larger Than Life, Rocket Ride. Love this song, Rocket Ride. And then like the weakest song out of the Stewart tracks here is Any Way You Want It. I can see her be. And for some reason, Anyway,
I don't. It's just they're doing like the Beatles shuffle or something.
Yeah. I guess when I hear that song, I just see them doing some kind of stupid shuffle, and it turns me off. But the 4 songs before that, love.
I like these songs too. All American Man is great. Rockin' the USA, very disappointed it's not the John Mellencamp song. Larger
All right,
than,
so actually you don't like it. So that's 2. That's 1 you
I'll
don't
say
like.
3 out of the 5 I like. Larger Than Life, I like that song a lot. Rocket Ride is a classic Ace song. Like, except when we saw it that one time.
Yeah.
Where he
They
slowed
slowed
down
it
the
down a
chorus.
little, like more than a little.
And then Any Way You Want It, very disappointed it's not the Journey song. So
Yeah, there you go.
I would rather them
let's
do that.
dance.
I would rather them do that.
Kiss this journey.
All right, let's start with BB here. Underrated or overrated? What would you change in your favorite song?
This is overrated. What I would change is I would get out. I would totally throw out side 2 and side 4 and just make it a side 1 and 3 live album.
So let me get this straight. You're getting rid of Shock Me,
Yeah.
Calling Dr. Love.
Put Shock Me on a solo album.
And
And put
What was in that beer he's drinking?
I know.
and put Rocket Ride. Oh, is Rocket Ride?
Rocket Ride's outside
That's side 4.
Yeah, so put that on a solo album too. Throw it out. We don't need it.
Send all hate mail to
BabyBoy@yahoo.com.
The sad thing is, I think he's the majority because I don't think a lot of people like this album.
I know it gets a lot of shit. It does.
So what song
What song would
I'm
you?
sorry.
if any, would you say?
What are the 4 songs you like on this 20-song album? What would you fucking pick?
I stole your love.
Okay.
I just saved Kiss like
BC, bring us back
$2
into
million.
fucking BC. Please reel us back into fucking reality here, okay? I'm counting on you.
All right, first of all, I'm gonna say underrated because, like you said, it's always got shit. And I never saw it. I mean,
It does. It gets a lot of.
It gets a lot of shit. And to me, I mean, even going back when I first got it, I mean, they were like, yeah, like the whole experience of it. You're like, yeah. If there's something I would change off it, totally off the top of my head, I'm probably gonna go with because I'm just, no matter what, shout it out loud. I just can't get used to it. I just can't embrace it. I don't know why it is. Maybe it's a. I don't know. I just even to this very day.
You got to have a party.
Yeah, I don't want to party when I hear
Turn
this.
it up louder.
I don't want to turn
Everybody
it
should-
louder.
Are your friends hello?
You know what I mean? But that's the only.
All right. What
I
song?
mean-
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
And of course, they gotta do Beth. Understand it, but
Unfortunately.
Shout It Out Loud is the song I can erase from the album and not miss it.
What song would you pick?
What song would I pick? Oh my god. There's so many after this one to me. I'm gonna go with the.
Show it out loud.
Nah. I'm gonna. Make It Love.
Interesting choice.
All right. Cool. I'm going to say when we get done recording here,
Good for
we
you.
have a rehab center that is a couple blocks away. We will drop BB off there as we're going home. And I absolutely fucking love Kiss Alive 2. Fucking
doing-
love it.
he's doing something more than
I send your hate mail to me because I actually like Alive 2 better than I like Alive. I would not knock off side 2 and side 4. I would knock off any way you want it. What I would change about it is I would knock off even though I like it, I would knock off Tomorrow and Tonight and Hard Luck 1 because they didn't play them. But I would put in Hooligan and Take Me and even Do You Love Me, even though it's not a fan favorite at this table here. I would put in songs that they actually played. I would supplement those songs with those. I would knock Bat the fuck out, but I understand why it's on there. I love this album. I think it's fucking fantastic. I think it is underrated, and people that give it shit, sorry, but you're wrong. And the song that I would pick from here, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna double up. I'm not done. Let me finish. I'm gonna double up. My favorite song in rock and roll was Ladies Room, and I'm gonna pick Ladies Room on this fucking album.
Okay, I get
Because
what you're doing. I'm sorry.
I love both versions. I listened to both of them today, and I'm like, wow, I really love the studio version, but I love the live version too. It's like the same song, but it's 2 different fucking songs. Love them. I love you, BB.
Yeah, but that would have been on my live album. That would have made the cut.
But stop smoking crack, please. Please. All right, Dylan.
I also
That's
think
what it's all about, buddy.
I also think it's underrated. I honestly also think it's better than Alive. I think the song choices are more interesting. and I think Paul is more comfortable with the stage banter, and it's a lot more It's a lot like better of stage.
It's
banter.
more spread out too.
It's more spread out. It's concise. It doesn't take like 5 hours. He goes in, he makes his puns, and he gets out. I really love this album. The song that I would, if anything, I would change. I mean, yeah, get rid of Any Way You Want It, and I would switch Shout Out Loud to an earlier position and have another song ending. I don't know quite what song I would want to end.
I'd rather see
live.
Tomorrow and Tonight in this set than
Yeah,
Shout Out Loud.
honestly, I think that's good. The song I would pick, I think, Rocket Ride. I think it's a fantastic Ace song, and it's just another showcase that Ace was such a sleeper songwriter in the band, and like he's just finally coming to bloom, and the people can see it for the forefront, because that was absolutely the best out of the new songs, I thought.
As soon as you said that, popped in mind, I think, the Facebook, maybe the M3 group. What song makes you want to turn your stereo up loud? Rocket Ride.
Yeah,
That comes on.
it's and more phasing on the guitar. It sounds cool
Why is it not on this song?
because it's on this.
Is this on Alive too?
He's got other songs
It's
he
missing.
wants to.
Hey,
put
I'm
out.
just glad
It's
with the
missing.
way things were going with Ace that he did bring something to the table there.
I think it sounds more like a Kiss song than an Ace song, honestly.
I agree. You know what? I think I agree with that. I think
you do have a good point there.
I think I do agree with that. I think it would
has that Kiss
sound
feel.
better on a Kiss album than an Ace. I can't picture that song fitting in on
Like
Ace's
Snowblind
'78
or
album.
New York Groove. Like it feels more Kiss than those songs. Like those songs feel more Ace to me.
To me, as soon as I hear it, you want to crank it up.
Rob will
Like
be
Rocket
happy.
Ride is like Into the Void for me. Like they're very similar songs, and they both feel Kiss, but with the Ace, with the Ace tinge.
I can live with that. I can definitely live with that.
Definitely.
All right, kids. There's our Kiss Middle of the Road episode, part 2.
Yeah.
We did Rock and Roll Over, Love Gun, Kiss Alive 2, for better or worse. We are making phone calls and texts to get BB into rehab.
That's right.
As
Please.
we speak. So
We'll have a
he made it-
GoFundMe page.
He may not be on the.
GoFundMe
Don't be surprised if BB's not on the next episode because he may actually be in rehab.
He told me to go to rehab. I said no.
GoFundMe at BB rehab.com.
And before we do that, out of the ones we've talked about tonight, give me your favorite and your worst album that of the crew. BB, go ahead first.
out of
The ones that we covered on both episodes.
Oh,
Like- I'm assuming is what you meant, right?
Yeah.
Favorite and least
you
favorite?
want
Right. Favorite and least favorite of the ones we talked about tonight. We got Just to Kill, Alive,
Okay.
Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over.
so
Love
my
Gun, Alive
favorite
2.
will definitely be Alive 1.
Okay.
His least favorite's Alive.
My least favorite is going to be Destroyer.
All right. BC.
I'm gonna go my favorite Rock and Roll Over and least favorite Destroyer.
Done.
My favorite's Love Gun. Least favorite's Destroyer.
Wow.
My favorite is Love Gun, and my least favorite, I gotta go with Dylan, Destroyer. Even though it was my first, I can't believe I'm saying that. But out of the ones we talked about tonight, definitely. Before we wrap up, real quick here, out of the 100 episodes we did, guys, I'm gonna throw you on the spot here. Give me 2 episodes that you really, really enjoyed. Not that they're like our children; we love them all equally. But what were like maybe 2 highlight episodes that like pop into the top of your head that you enjoyed? Dylan.
I'm gonna say the Van Halen debate. I really liked. That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of really fun arguing and just back and forth and piss taking. That was just wonderful. And I think that episode helped spawn other episodes that we had down the road that were also really good. And another episode I would say is the worst of the best. That was just fun to record, to just talk shit on some of our favorite artists' worst albums. That was a lot of fun. Nice to get drunk and rip on some music sometimes.
I love the Jeopardy episodes. Dylan, you are unbelievable putting that together. That's so much work and dedication.
Wait till you
props
hear.
to you.
Wait till you hear last week's episode.
You guys did not do well last week.
God damn it! But yeah, the Jeopardy episodes. That's podcast changing, because all of a sudden you are seeing different podcasts doing different episodes of different games. You are the one who started Jeopardy. I don't care what anybody says. Props to you, buddy.
Thank you.
Another one I like the birthday ones. It's always fun to learn what you guys actually have close to your heart, and no matter what, comes out, and we'll bust balls about this, that, or anything else. But that's your music. That's where your roots are from, and it's just fun to listen to where you guys came from, because there's a little different age difference here. So between Dylan and Steve, there's a big, humongous difference, and it's fantastic just to learn where you guys get your roots from, and that was a highlight for me.
One of the all-time favorite, as already mentioned, is the Van Halen one. It did seem like it, but what was it? Almost like 4 hours.
We were in the building for like 6 hours for that episode.
It was a
between
long time.
the
marathon.
preparing the questions and answering them and recording. I think we were literally in the recording space for 6 hours for that.
But it
episode.
did seem that long, because
it went by quick. It did.
Yeah, because like you say,
but all told, we were together for like 6 hours for that
busting
one.
balls, having a good time, and,
Getting close with this one.
and
We are, but this is 2 episodes.
what do we
Yeah.
need? Another good one?
Yeah, one more. Yeah, give me one more.
Definitely Jeopardy. I have to agree with BB. The Jeopardy ones are to me just like you don't know what to expect, because you're going in like, oh shit! To me, that they were the funnest. Not the funnest, but to me, very fun.
Right. Like I said, all the episodes, they're like my children. I love them all equally. But a couple standout ones for me, Dylan, and I'm just gonna go off these guys. The Jeopardy ones are great. You totally outdo yourself on the Jeopardy ones, even though last week's episode with Sonny Pooney was a little skewed towards him. But we'll let that go. We'll let that go. I know. Sonny, I love you. It was great to actually to get like someone else in here to do that with us. It was fantastic. And it's been cool that Sonny lives in Milwaukee and San Francisco, and that he was actually able to come twice this year to record with us, and where we record every week is just like incredible and awesome to have him here. And I'm glad that we were able to get dinner a couple nights in a row, and he got to meet Estrogen and Chris and Maurice and Jay. And we just Estro John too, Jen's husband, Estro John. A couple that quickly stand out to me. I loved doing the Kiss solo episodes that we did with Sonny and Steven. We did 2 on theirs, they did 2 on ours. Those were fucking fantastic to do.
And Dylan, going back to the ones you hate, like driving out to Nashville.
Yeah.
That was fucking fun.
We listened to the playlist out there, and we riffed on the way out, and then we recorded after.
Oh my God, look at it.
Yeah.
We go like, oh my God, this album sucks.
Yeah, and it was, and that was one of the few episodes that we all did like really our prep together. Yeah. We all listened to it together. I did the playlist, and I think BB was driving. One of you guys, I wasn't driving when we listened to them. I don't know who was driving.
I think it was me.
I think BB was driving when we listened to them.
Big dictionary.
And speaking of the Rockin' Pod Expo, BB and I will be attending this year.
That's right.
And we will be hooking up with everybody down there in Nashville. BB and I will be there, and we hope to see everybody down there. The couple episodes that stand out to me, I said the Kiss Soul episodes with the guys from Grown Up Rock, Steven and Sonny. You guys are fucking kick ass. I loved the 2 Motley Crue episodes that we did with Estrogen and Heather. It's always great to have different views on the show, but I'm happy that we have resources and awesome people like Estrogen and Heather that can come on the podcast and come in and hold their own with us rocker guys. I mean, they kick ass. They bring their own flavor to the show. They bring their own point of views, and it's just great having these women on this show, and it's awesome. And believe me, there's more coming up with these guys, these gals. I'm sorry, and it's great. And I want to thank all of our guests that we've had over the 2 years that we've done this podcast. We love you guys. And here's some of the podcasts I'm just going to read. There's just a couple that we've interacted with, that we've been on their shows, they've been on ours, that have thrown us out there. Grown Up Rock podcast with Steven and Sonny. Digital Killed the Radio Star podcast with Chris Craig and David Hudson. The I Love It Loud cast with Peter Ciceri and Vinny Folletti. You guys are kind of a little newer guys on the block. You guys kick ass. We love your stuff. And Peter, we will see you in a couple weeks in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And Decibel Geek podcast, Chris Sinzak, Aaron Camaro. These guys are the pretty much the gods of rock podcasting. These guys have one of the greatest shows out there. They're great. They're the guys that organize the Rock and Pod Expo. We love you guys. Podcast Rock City with our buddy Sonny Pooney, Joe Polo, Jody Havnot. Love you guys. You guys always throw our name out there. We appreciate it. Kiss FAQ with Julian Gill, our buddy Mark Anthony K, Ken Keenan, that's been on our podcast. That those two guys have been steadfast fans of our show and guys that have helped us out. And with Lonnie, along with them, they're the regular four guys that do their show. We appreciate it. New guy that and this guy's got a ton of shows out there. Check this guy out. Ridiculous Rock Record Reviews. Aaron Martell, he's been a guy that's been a supporter of our show since day one. He has an awesome podcast out there. He reviews like one album an episode. And Aaron, I got to tell you, I love your sister on there. She is just like so funny. I love listening to her talk, and she's awesome. And your podcast is great. And they do some like different albums out there that we would never even like touch on this podcast. But they do a lot of great like hard rock and metal albums. So definitely check those out. Check out all these podcasts, and keep sharing us. We love you guys. Once quick thank you around the table here, and we'll wrap it up. Dylan.
Thank you guys. 100 episodes. We couldn't have done it without you. Honestly, please engage. If you've been feeling nervous about reaching out to us, please do, because we'd love to hear what you want from the podcast, and we'd love to talk rock and metal with you, because like I said before, it's all about the conversation. And thank you a million times over, and here's to 100 more.
Yeah, definitely. It goes way beyond the table here of us four. It actually, it's all about you guys out there listening to us, downloading us, sharing us, interacting with us. We do it for you guys. It's in our heart, because we've been doing this for years. We're just recording it now, and just 100 episodes later, we probably could have done this for 1,000 episodes. But, once again, thank you, and it's all about you guys. Thank you, and, we do it for you.
Exactly. I mean, you can sit here, but we've been doing this for years without even knowing it. But without you people out there listening to us, we'd still be doing this on porches and bars and wherever
Cars,
and
planes,
whatever.
trains, and automobiles.
So without you guys out there, I mean, hey, you make it that much more fun.
Yeah, once again, thanks everybody out there for listening, sharing, interacting. You guys kick ass out there. We appreciate you guys listening to us. And, like I said many times, if you guys have a show idea or something you want us to check out, feel free to message us, message me personally, any of us personally here, and we can get that going, absolutely. And we appreciate you guys. Love you. Here's to 100 more. BC, BB, Dylan, you guys kick total fucking ass. We will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.